Hello everyone and welcome back to our channel. 50% of Toronto's real estate is owned by investors. This article in Toronto Star says that investors now own more than 50% of Toronto's new condos, and experts say they're driving up the housing market for everyone. So moving forward, it says here more than half of Toronto's condo built in recent years where investors owned. That's per Statistics of Canada and their reports. So having said that, obviously I was trading through all these years and investors were very aggressive, and that's why we're getting into the whole rental market. They're not selling these properties. Obviously the listings, there are lack of listings in Toronto and the area. So whoever needs to sell, obviously they will sell. Everybody else, including investors, are trying to go through these tough times and the interest increases. But having said that, there have been some changes when it comes to landlordship and the tenants, so that the landlords can increase the rent regardless of the amount if the property is built recently, so on new builds. So that we have seen some shifts when it comes to rental properties, when it comes to that. So also in the article, the Jacqueline Bellardi doesn't know if she'll ever be able to afford a home, even if she has a good salary. Stating here that Bellardi and her partner make combined income of more than $180,000. And they're having a hard time saving up for a down payment. So they had to reach out to their parents and get, I don't know if this is a loan or if this was a gift of $50,000. So it is a tough time when it comes to obviously inflation and the pricing and everything else that has been going on in the recent years, months and weeks. So people are under a lot of pressure, and even as Jacqueline is stating in this article, she's making a combined living with her partner of more than $180,000, and even that's not sufficient enough to come up with a good sum of a down payment, or even any kind of down payment to afford really anything nowadays, right? So moving to the next graph here this is, we're talking about rents, municipalities of Toronto, Etobicoke, North York, Scarborough, from November 2018 and December 2022. And we have seen some falls in the recent months when it comes to rental properties. But, they were just going nuts. They were just going crazy. And as you can see here, in November of 2020, there obviously was a dip due to COVID and all of that stuff. But returning back to real estate, this article I found very interesting by a website called Better Dwelling, stating that Canadian real estate could fall 30%, which is interesting. And this is why, because but Ontario affordability won't return. So what does that mean? Like, even if the prices drop by 30%, stating by Desjardins, that the affordability won't return. So it can mean multiple things. Let us read the article. It's from September 6th, saying that Canadians' real estate correction has produced a glimmer of hope in young adults, right? Especially first-time buyers. In a worst-case scenario, Desjardins seeing home prices falling as much as 30% in a deep recession. It still won't be enough to restore affordability, especially in the Greater Toronto. So even with these interest increases that we have seen in the past few months that went sky high, we haven't seen prices drop by 30, 50, 70% or whatever the prediction that were with some people online and even some speculators. We we haven't seen that high of drops. Now, moving on to the next page here, like they're stating that Canadians' real estate affordability needs a recession to improve. So basically what they're saying, like, look, if we have a recession and if the prices fall by 30% off or 50% off, in this case it's 30, they're claiming 30, that it will not even improve the affordability. So just understanding this graph here, the projections and whatnot, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to say, right? Like so this graph, like we see, like in weak listings, strong population growth, like it will kind of flat. Average recession, it will kind of continue to move slowly, and in the best case scenario or base case scenario, it will continue to rise slowly by single digit increments, as whatever I can see here by 2025. Now, there's also one line stating the 1990 style recession and strong construction. And, like many people claim that this will not happen at all. So let's blow up this graph for you to see a little bit better. I don't really know what to tell you. Like we went through a pandemic, we went through increases in interest rates. We've seen inflation. We've seen all kinds of stuff, and nothing really killed this market that we have. So it seems to be a pretty strong, stable brick and mortar market, and it looks like it's not going anywhere. So in this graph here, what we can see, Greater Toronto home prices are firmly out of reach for most. What we just have talked about, people are looking for other solutions. People are looking for other markets. People are even leaving our province of Ontario. They're like, I know some of my clients have left. Some of their picks were Calgary, Edmonton, Halifax, more affordable and stuff like that. So they're moving to these provinces hoping for more affordability. I don't know about, their lifestyle, because Toronto has a pretty good lifestyle and diversity in their lifestyle and all of that stuff. But having said that, like, people are moving to different regions of our country. So number of sales, they did increase. We've seen like dips in July. We have seen up and downs when it comes to the real estate market, lack of listings, lack of affordability. The banks were tightening up. From what I hear right now, the banks are kind of loosening up a little bit. There have even been some cuts when it comes to interest rates and all that stuff. So we'll see how that will go. On this graph here, you see the Canadian housing market news. So the monthly transactions were 35,410. That's 6% less in the in month-to-month change. Average sold price is 656,000, an increase of 2% overall in the last 12 months. But like even Hamilton, I see here on the map, it's 789,000 for an average property. It's more than in Montreal, Ottawa, and stuff like that. Like London, Ontario, and look at Winnipeg, it's like 369, right? Like Edmonton, 396, Calgary. So the big elephants in the room, obviously Vancouver nearing 1.3 million and Toronto at 1.125. So it just shows you that we're probably 50% more than the rest of the country. So now when it comes to the construction and when it comes to new properties and their lack of builders, and even some of them, like even in Toronto, they went belly up, they went bankrupt and whatnot. But even everybody is struggling because we need more affordable homes. I have no idea how they will do that because everything seems to be expensive, even for the builders, and their profit margins are getting smaller and smaller. With conventional builders, these big builders are building high rises and all of that stuff. Please make sure to pick the right developer, a strong developer who can push the project through, because it's a little bit different than building, 6 townhomes or a detached home or a little subdivision, because you can break these things off and you can build as you kind of go. When you commit to an 80-floor tower or 60-floor tower or something like that, or X units, you're committed to follow through the entire build and the entire completion. So with some of these builders, it can definitely harm them if they're not a huge company and if they don't have a big cushion. So moving on forward, the last graph here, as you can see, we have seen, Quebec. This is the investment in real estate and building construction. So Quebec went up by 9%, Ontario 6.7%, Manitoba 33%. So this is the construction, like where the construction is heading to. So Manitoba seems to be the highest on this graph. We'll see what's going to happen. Please comment below. It would be interesting to see what you are going through, and hopefully you will give me some more ideas for content like this. So if you haven't subscribed yet, please like and subscribe, and see you next time.